Hey everybody, it's Mike Vilstich back again. Hey, just talking about the market again because I think I need to start giving you guys some weekly updates on what's going on because of what we're hearing in the media and what is going, what's really happening out there in the marketplace. Now, I want to talk about something that I'm calling the big inhale. I want to picture for you guys who are married and your wife is taking this nice warm shower and she's all comfortable, and you being the meanie that you are, you come in with this bucket of ice water and you dump it on her. I can not confirm or deny that I've actually done that to my wife before. Maybe it has happened. But, and all of a sudden, what is she going to do? She's going to go, and it's where we are right now. We're in the big inhale, okay? So this is what's going on in our marketplace right now. For the last 14 years, we have had record low interest rates. And we're going to talk about record low in a little bit. But record low interest rates, 2-3%. So that means all of you guys who are in your 20s and things like that, I mean, you haven't seen anything else. When the recession hit, you were in elementary school. And so all you've seen is 2 or 3% interest rates. And we're going to talk about that, about why it's not normal. Now, and I get it, all of a sudden in just a few months period since April, we've seen interest rates go up 3, even 4%. And that's a huge jump. There's no doubt about it. But let's look at things historically. So we've got this chart here, and I want to talk about interest rates. This shows where interest rates have happened since 1970, so for the last 50 years. Okay, and if you look at this, you can see that in the 1980s, since 1975 is where that starts. We see, or 1970, we see a 7.5% interest rate. And that continues all the way across here for quite some time. That's going to go all the way across to 2000. 2000 is when we first see it drop below 7.5%. And we start getting into the 6.5%. And now the average from 2000 to 2008 is about 6.5%. So making the average, if you average in what happened in the 1980s, you see how that was up to 18-19% interest rates. When we bought our house, we bought it at 9.5% on an adjustable rate mortgage. We were excited to get it. The 30-year fixed rate at that time was about 13%. So we were excited to get 9.5%. And then you see 2008, great recession. All of a sudden we start seeing interest rates going down. And if you remember listening in the news, and I know some of you guys are so young, some of these realtors out there that are panicking now because they're saying, oh, interest rates, I can't believe people are going to buy anything with interest rates so astronomically high. 6.5 was the interest average rate before the recession. Now we start seeing it go down. And if you remember listening in the news, they kept talking about record low interest rates. Record. Well, why is it a record? Because it's never been there before. That's what a record means, right? It's never been there before. So we've never seen these interest rates below. That should also mean not normal. Okay, so that should all be what record interest rates mean to you also. Record low interest means not normal interest rates. And so now what we've seen, if you look what's happened just in the last few months, now we're up to 6.25, 6.5%. We're in that range. And look where that puts us, still below the average. Now it's the average of the last 20 years, but that's where we are. We're just at average. It's not that big a deal, okay? But now everyone goes, yeah, but home prices have just gone through the roof. Yeah, they kind of have. So if you look at the 30-year average, the 30-year average growth rate on home prices is 5.3%. And so it's expected that home prices go up. I will never buy a house back where we bought our first house at $91,000 for a 2,500 square foot home in Salt Lake Valley. We're never going to see that again. Okay, the first home that we made an offer on was $50,000. That's never going to happen in Salt Lake again. Okay, and so the fact of the matter is prices go up. Now, yes, we did have a couple years of real extreme growth. 2021 was the record. Nationally, it was 18.7% was the national growth. Some areas like Utah, we saw as much as 28% growth in 1 year. And yeah, that's just unsustainable, and prices did go up. The record low, probably shouldn't be surprising to all of you, was 2009, so a year into the recession, where home prices went down on average negative 11.9%. Now that's an average. There were pockets that went down much lower than that. There were other areas that didn't go down as much. So that's why that's an average. Okay. And so home prices have gone up, and everyone's going, but they've got to come back down. I mean, people who waited such a long time to get in their home or something like that, or they're used to where prices were 20 years ago, they go, yeah, we got to get back to those prices. Well, let me ask you this. What's the annual salary average these days? See, because during the recession or before the recession, what was the average worker making at McDonald's? And I like to use this one as an example because this is such an extreme example. But what was the average worker at McDonald's making? $7.25 an hour, which is minimum wage. Okay, that's what they were making. That was what the workers there. Now, just the other day, I saw it at McDonald's near me advertising $18 an hour starting wage at McDonald's. So more than double, okay, since 2008, the wages at McDonald's. Now, not all wages have gone up double, but all wages have gone up since 2008. Now, if you're getting paid the same thing that you were paid in 2008, change jobs. Because there's plenty of jobs out there. I'm still looking around. Most places I see are still saying we need people to work. Okay, and so here's the thing. We're kind of getting to normal, and we're in this big inhale. Okay, prices have gone up. That was extreme enough. Now interest rates have gone up, and so we're doing this, and we're panicking, and we are going to release. And people are going to get to the point where they go, okay, we're getting back to normal. Okay, will interest rates go up a little bit more still? Probably a little bit still. But remember, that average was 7.5% to 8% for over the last 50 years. That's the average. So we still have some room to go. That if we're looking at the last 20 years, 6.5% would still be the average. And so we're sitting right about there. It might go up a little bit more. Home prices, some areas we're going to see bigger drops in home prices, but a lot of areas we're not going to see them really drop at all. This year, like I said, last year was the big year, 18.7% growth nationally. This year it's 17%. So home prices are still going up. We're having a cooling down of price increases. That's a good thing, okay, for all you buyers. And here's the other thing too. So here's what's happening. I'm seeing more buyers than I have for 5 years, 6 years. I've got more buyers, and as I talk to lenders, they're getting more mortgage applications happening too. Even though we thought we had a lot going on in the last 2 years before this, they're getting a lot of mortgage applications in, and people are qualifying. Okay. Now, the other thing where who's panicking, it's homeowners. Now, here's the thing. Don't panic. Okay. When the recession hit in 2008, the recession was pretty much over by 2011. So it was a long one. It was a 3-year recession where home prices dropped down. Most recessions, we don't see a decrease in home prices. Keep that in mind too. But by 2014, everybody's home values had recovered. So that's something to remember. If you don't have to sell, don't panic. Don't listen to the media that says, time to get out of your home. You're losing all of your value. You're not losing anything yet. Okay, and if you're willing to sit there and ride this out a little bit, you're going to be fine. Because by 2014, everyone's value recovered, and by now, most people's value has doubled, and in some cases, even tripled in value. Okay, and so don't panic. And if you do need to sell your home, okay, great. Price it correctly, and then you can also refer to the book that we have available. Smart Seller's Guide to Preparing Your Home to Sell. The link below if you want to order that book. And it's a great guide to what you need to do to get your home to be the one that everyone wants to buy in your neighborhood. And so the great inhale, that's where we are. My prediction, by late spring next year, we're going to start feeling that exhale. Things settle down, get into a stable market. People are going to realize that the interest rates we're at are okay. Even talking to some lenders that I'm talking to, they're thinking the interest rates may come down a little bit by then again. Is it going to come down to 2 or 3? No one's thinking that. Will it come down into the 5s? Probably. And so don't panic. Great time to buy. Home prices are still going up, so still time to buy. And there's other options available, so you could get lower interest rates and stuff like that. And this is where it's really helpful, because where some of the sellers are panicking and their realtors are panicking with them, sometimes you can take advantage of that and help get a better price or better terms, or they're helping you buy down your interest rate to a better rate. Anyway, remember the big inhale, that's all we're in. Cold water just got thrown on you from such a hot market. It's okay, you'll calm down, the shower will get warm again, and everyone will be fine. If you have any other questions, check our YouTube channel. We have other videos about this and other topics, and hope to see you there.